Now, love them or hate them, it's hard to imagine a world these days without smartphones. Keeping ahead of the trends is big business, of course, and today Apple is once again trying to be number one in the marketplace. The first iPhone was released back in June 2007. Since then, a reported 500 million have been sold worldwide. 40% of British smartphone users have an iPhone, but in recent years it's been overtaken by rival smartphones using the popular Android operating system. Within the last hour, in fact it's still going on, Apple has been announcing details of its latest gadgets, including an iPhone 6. Joining me now to talk about it is tech journalist Julia Hardy, and we're still getting details coming through, Julia, but
Yes.
Give us what you know.
Well, first of all, I think one of the big things is that they were trying to basically make sure everyone watched the conference through Safari, like their own particular browser, and everyone was having huge difficulty watching it, which is rather ironic for a...
So it's hard to watch on a PC, is what we're saying, basically.
Basically, yes, you couldn't really watch it, but even then, you still couldn't watch it anyway. And plus, also, there's someone in Chinese speaking over the top of it, which is rather bizarre.
But the details of the phone, or
Yes.
I should say phones...
Phones, yes,
more than
OK.
one.
So you've got the iPhone 6, which will have a 4.7 screen, and then you've got the iPhone 6 Plus, so that's kind of the moving into the sort of phablet market, as we see.
Is that what they're called? Hard to tell on the screen there,
Phablet,
but obviously
yes.
one's a bit bigger.
Well, there was a lot of talk because they'd always, Steve Jobs always kind of said he didn't want to move into that particular realm of it, and now they kind of are. It feels like they're playing a little bit of catch-up with, obviously, Samsung, who were the kind of pioneers into this, but yeah. I mean, it's not massively different. The whole first part of the conference, there was nothing really, oh, we've got a new camera and isn't it nice, and you can take pictures, and there's burst mode, and there's, these different things. Nothing particularly too exciting. They were talking about obviously having like a, gyroscope, accelerometer, and actually a barometer, so you can actually have height.
OK.
That's a bit interesting.
Measure height on your phone. I mean, look at me chewing on a pen. How old-fashioned is that? In this kind of
You're
discussion?
so retro.
But I want to pick you up on a couple of points you made there. You mentioned Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Who obviously passed away,
Yes.
a couple of years ago now. Apple has been playing catch-up ever since. They've lost their iconic leader. Is this going to help them get out of their funk?
Well, I think it's really come to... I feel quite sorry for Tim Cook, really. He's got, awfully big...
The man who replaced him.
Of course, the new CEO has awfully big shoes to fill. I mean, what Apple have done incredibly well is when they've kind of gone into new markets. So obviously, for MP3, there was like the iPod, and then smartphones, there was the iPhone, and then tablets, there was the iPad. So if they're going to talk about, which they might be talking about right now, we don't know, about the iWatch, if they could really bring out something spectacular and different and innovative, they could really pull it back. I mean, whether they do that or not will remain to be seen. We'll find out in the next 30 to 40 minutes. I have started talking about NFC payments as well, so they're trying to basically replace your
touch
wallet.
Payment.
Yeah, contactless payments, but you could use your phone. So that's quite interesting.
The thing is,
exciting.
the other point I want to pick you up on, and you mentioned Samsung. I mean, not just Samsung, lots of other companies are stealing a march on Apple. They're already producing the equivalent of an iWatch. They're already producing bigger phones. Why are we even bothering to talk about Apple anymore?
Because
he says,
they're
shooting
really,
himself
really
in the
good
foot.
at getting people excited because they don't tell anyone anything. So then the rumour mill goes into complete overdrive. But also, they've been talking about this, rumoured iWatch for such a long time. And it was a vision of Steve Jobs. So this is kind of his legacy. So people want to see this. They're very much going to be pushing on health with their kind of new health kit thing. This is like a really big thing that they're going to push. And if anyone can kind of do it and do it well, I have faith that they can do it.
Julia, thank you very much indeed. You can go back to keeping an eye on the announcement, which is still happening.